All right, hello and welcome. Today, we're going to take a quick trip, not into some distant sci-fi future, but to 2026. Yeah, it's right around the corner. We're talking about the incredible tech trends that are already starting to shape everything. So let's just dive right in and see what's coming.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. These aren't just wild guesses about the future. The seeds of what's coming in 2026, well, they're being planted right now as we speak. Think of this as your guide, your insider briefing on the forces that are going to be a huge part of our lives in just a couple of years. Knowing about them now, that gives you a serious head start.
So, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to frame it as a countdown. Together, we're going to unpack the 5 most powerful tech trends, starting at number 5 and working our way up to the single biggest shift you absolutely need to be ready for.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off with trend number 5 and count our way all the way up to number 1. Each one kind of builds on the last, so let's get this journey started.
Our first stop is all about the foundation. I mean, before we can even get to all the cool, flashy software, we have to talk about the physical nuts and bolts that make everything possible. I'm talking about energy and raw computing power.
So, kicking off our countdown at number 5 is a trend that might actually surprise you, solving tech's huge energy crisis. All of our amazing digital tools, from the AI we're all playing with to just streaming our favorite shows, they have a very real, very large, and frankly, very hungry physical footprint.
Okay, get this. Let this number sink in for a second. 4%. 4% of all the energy on the planet is already being used by data centers, and that's on track to double by the end of the decade. I mean, you don't have to be a math whiz to see that's just not sustainable. And that's exactly why 2026 is becoming this critical turning point for how we power our digital lives.
So, what's the plan? Well, in 2026, we're going to see energy resilience become a core business strategy. This means a huge push into renewables, obviously, but also looking at some other really powerful options like hydrogen fuel cells and even small, modular nuclear reactors. All of this is designed to keep our digital future powered up, but sustainably.
All right, so that's the energy side of the infrastructure coin. Now let's talk about the other side, computing power. And that brings us to trend number 4. For years, quantum computing has felt like this thing stuck in a lab, right? So much hype, but not a lot to show for it in the real world. Well, by 2026, that is all going to change. We are entering the era of useful quantum computing.
To really get the scale of this change, just think back to the leap we made from those old, room-sized computers to the super powerful microchips we all carry around in our pockets. That's the kind of revolutionary jump we're talking about here. That's what quantum computing is starting to deliver.
And this isn't just theory anymore. No way. We're talking about banks using quantum to build financial models that are way more accurate than anything we've ever seen. We're talking about pharmaceutical companies literally accelerating drug discovery, saving years of research. And logistics firms? They'll be using it to optimize those incredibly complex global supply chains we all depend on. This stuff is happening now.
Okay, so we've got the infrastructure in place, right? The power, the processing. Now let's move on to the software itself. And this is where AI stops being just a tool you command and starts becoming an active partner in your life.
The magic words here are agentic AI, and that's our trend number 3. We're all used to AI that responds to us, like chatbots. Agentic AI is the next evolution. It's an AI that can understand a goal, actually make a plan, and then go out and use different tools and services all on its own to make it happen for you. It's all about being proactive, not just reactive.
Let me give you a really simple but powerful example. Imagine an AI agent that doesn't just ping you a reminder about your kid's football match. No, it's already checked the traffic, it's booked you a rideshare, found and paid for parking right near the field, and then automatically blocked out all the travel time in your calendar. That is the agentic revolution in action.
Okay, so we've covered energy, computing, AI agents. You're probably thinking the next trend is going to be even more tech-heavy. But this is where it gets really interesting. Trend number 2 is this fascinating paradox. As the machines get smarter, our distinctly human skills become more valuable than ever before.
Just let that sink in for a second. The real advantage, the real competitive edge in this new world, it's not just having the best tech. It's about cultivating those irreplaceable qualities that make us human. This is where people become the ultimate game changer.
So, what are we talking about? We're talking about skills like empathy, real leadership, deep critical thinking.
And it's so interesting that cybersecurity awareness is on this list. And you might ask why? Well, because the most advanced firewall in the world can't stop a person from clicking a bad link. Most security breaches, they exploit human psychology, not a software bug. And that's a problem only humans can solve, with critical thinking and just being aware.
And that brings us to it, the #1 trend for 2026. This is the climax of our whole journey, the single most important strategic shift that's going to separate the winners from the losers in the next few years. It's all about moving from a defensive crouch to a massive, creative leap forward.
So our #1 trend is AI-driven disruption. But wait, it's not actually about the AI itself. It's about a fundamental change in our mindset. For the last few years, we've all just been scrambling to react to whatever new AI tool comes out. Well, that game is about to change completely.
The difference is so simple, but so profound. Reacting is just playing catch-up, right? Always trying to adapt to the next new thing. Reinvention? That's about proactively reimagining how we do everything, how we work, how we create, how we live, but with AI baked in at the core from the very start.
And this reinvention, it's going to be everywhere. In healthcare, it means we go from these slow reactive trials to proactive AI-designed treatments. In marketing, it means you have to adapt to a world of zero-click searches, where the AI just gives the answer directly. And in our own daily lives, it means finally, automating the boring stuff to free up our time for what really matters: creativity and human connection.
So look, if there's one thing you take away from our little trip to 2026, please let it be this. The crucial point, the thread that connects all 5 of these trends, is that success isn't about adapting to technology anymore. It's about using it to fundamentally reinvent what you do.
And honestly, that's the big question for every single one of us as we head towards 2026. The tools, from new energy infrastructure to these incredible AI agents, they're going to be there. The real question is, what are we going to build with them? Will we just react, or will we choose to reinvent? The choice really is ours.